I'm going to go ahead and start with Arkansas State. Yeah, it was fast and it was done. Uh, no, I'm just joking. Yeah, it was a tough game. You know, they playing really well right now, and they shot the ball well, and it's difficult to guard, especially when they're pressing you the whole game and you're a little shorthanded and stuff. So, yeah, I thought it's a tough matchup, and we didn't play as well as we did when we played them over there. Actually, that second half we played really well over there, but tough game. Yeah, them getting up and down and the way they can shoot it makes it difficult on our defense and our offense too. So tough game. With Troy, you know, you got to try to control the tempo of the game, and I think from tip to end of the game, I thought we did a pretty good job. Even though they did go on a run in the third, you know, we were able to withstand it. Making free throws, I think, were big for us. You know, I think we shot 83% from the free throw line, and you know, we rebounded good enough and kept them to second chance points. Is usually what they make their living on. So, I thought we did a pretty good job. We turned them over 26 times, and we took care of it a little bit. You know, we had a few turnovers, but yeah, just a pretty complete game. I thought one of our better games of the year with just 8 people too. You know, so to be able to control that was pretty good.
Besides the physical side and the not having options, does it kind of, do players' roles change when you all have 7 or 8 as opposed to 10 or 11? Like you're asking players to do things they don't normally do, or has that been an issue?
You know, I think that's a great point. That something that we don't discuss as coaches too much, or we might discuss it coaches, but we don't discuss it with players that much. You know, when we're down to 8, everybody just kind of, hey, now, you know, everybody's gonna have to do their part. And we talked. I actually last week talked about our strengths. You know, you build confidence off of playing off of your strengths, and I wanted our players to play off their strengths. Don't worry about your weakness. You know, just hey. But I mean, I think that's a great point for you because they had to do. You know, some of these kids that came off the bench that hadn't played that much had to do a little bit, you know, a little bit more, rebound more. I think that was the biggest thing for us. Can we rebound and defend a little bit better? Because some of them weren't playing because they wasn't defending as much, and it gave them that opportunity to play. And, you know, and then taking care of the ball, you know, it's putting a lot of pressure on our guards, you know. Both games put a lot of pressure on our guards, and I think from playing Troy the time before, we understood it because we led at half, and in the third quarter, they just kind of took over. This time around, we didn't let them take over, even though it looked like it was about ready to happen. We were able to kind of withstand it. So, yeah, I think that's a big thing, too, is how do they come out their roles a little bit without trying to do too much? And I think that's what we did. They did just enough to where we could, you know, get the win.
Obviously, it was, you know, big for Ashlyn to come up with the game that she had on Saturday. But just how important is it for other role players, other pieces on the team that have come up big in moments like that? As you get down the stretch and teams are going to start trying to take away Erica and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen. I thought Ashlyn played really, really well, even though she didn't. You know, if you notice from the high post, she wasn't really shooting it as well. When we played Troy the first time, I mean, she scored the first 11 points. I mean, I think she had 11 points at the first quarter and stuff like that. So she played really well against them. You know, they're athletic. She's athletic. So it kind of matches up pretty good with her. But, yeah, she's been playing well. But I was more impressed by her scoring from the inside in the paint. You know, she's starting, you know, I've been preaching all year with our hybrids, use the backboard, I mean, really for 13 years I've been preaching. You got to be able to learn how to use the backboard. And a lot of these kids these days don't really like to. And she's one that has bought into it. And I think it's an elevator game. I always say you're going to get 6 more points out of yourself if you use the backboard. I believe that. And I've seen it over the years. And she's starting to do that. And she's starting to be real effective. I see it at practice. She's really effective with it. And then, you know, for all the other kids that coming in, you know, they're practicing, they're preparing and all that. So they're all getting the opportunity to get ready to play. They just didn't have the opportunity to play. So now here's the opportunity. And, you know, it's sometimes it's going to be about matchups too, you know. It's not going to be as strong. Sorry. It's not going to be as strong you know, your role might not be that against this certain team because of the matchups and stuff like that. And, man, I have no clue too much about going into this next series and stuff like that because App State's got a new coach. We don't know their system as good. It'll be the first time. And then Coastal is playing really well. I mean, it's going to be a tough series to be able to go out and try to get some wins, you know. But, you know, we got what we got, and I think we're going to probably have 8 players again for this. I think we're only traveling 8 of them. So it'll be a tough road trip, but, hey, we'll play. Cam's got to get surgery on her nose, broken nose, and that's not going to happen until Wednesday. So my understanding is she might be out for a week or two from that standpoint.
So app is an important game. And so, like, when I know you don't know them like you know Troy, but like, what do they do? Like, why are they're kind of the surprise of the league?
Yeah, they kind of, they've kind of calmed down a little bit, but yeah, I mean, they got good guard play, and I mean, just basic, they shoot the ball pretty good, and they've always were able to. Run transition and find open people. And their inside game was never really that strong, but as shooting threes and kind of that kind of stuff. I don't know right at this point, exactly what they're running to be able to get those things. But with some of the things that one of our coaches has the scout and stuff like that, and we'll start on that today. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be it's always been tough over there, Don't know a lot about this new coach and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. I know she was at Southern Miss and some other places, but I think this is her first head coaching job other than maybe a junior college or something like that.
So without players on the trip, how is that going to impact? You're playing high pace running. I mean, that's going to be tricky on how many minutes you get.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we went through this week. We didn't do so well against Arkansas State because we couldn't continue to get up and down with them. I thought they wore. Honestly, I thought that was one of the games that we got worn out. And then in the Troy game, I was concerned about it, but for some reason, we were able to kind of control the tempo of the game. I thought TR, she didn't play the best game as far as for shooting the ball, but I thought she controlled the tempo of the game by slowing it down. And I don't know if y'all noticed, but we were running some offenses that we were going through and we were making them guard us. And that's something that Troy doesn't really like to do. I'm not saying they can't guard, they just don't like to guard for a long period of time. So we were taking 20 seconds off the shot clock and still getting a pretty good shot. So, I mean, that's kind of be important, I guess, on this trip too, is can we control the tempo of the game with the number we have?